Hello, this is the second part to the 3D shapes, the applications of 15.1, and we're going to go straight into looking at surface area and then a bit of how to draw in three dimensions. Okay, so surface area is the area on the outside of a shape. We've done area previously, so surface area is if I've got this 3D shape, the amount of paint or the amount of wrapping paper that I would need to cover the outside exactly. Okay, now in exam questions or book questions you're just going to have a drawing, but it is always best to try and visualize what the shape looks like. So I've got this shape here, so I can try and count as we go, okay, or at least look at it. So one of the things you can always try and do if the shape is given to you on isometric paper, or very clearly if it's on square paper, is just count how many squares there are on the outside. Okay, and I've had a go at most of that on this diagram. So here I've already counted that there are 14 surfaces that I can already see, but there are some that I can't see. Okay, so if I've got my shape I can see all of them, but I'm unable to see that actually there's any yellow there. Okay, so I'm going to add some extra bits now. So round the back of my shape there are 4. Round the other side to this green one there are another 4. Okay, because I can imagine that L shape being continued, so it's the same picture as the front part. Okay, and then I've also got the underneath, which is going to be 6. And I know there's going to be 6 on the bottom because it's the underneath of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Okay, so if I add all that together, 6 and 4 and 4 and 4 and 14, we've got that this shape is 28 centimeters squared or something, whatever units that was going to be. Okay, on a different question, the one from the textbook, we've got this picture. Now there are no boxes drawn, so I don't really want to have to count this one, but I know, okay, so I've got my diagram there, I know that it's just going to be area. And I can do the area of the shapes that I need because it's just areas of rectangles, because every single face of this is just a rectangle. Okay, and I'm going to, for ease, label each of the bits, each of the faces. So we'll have A at the top, we'll have B at the side, and we'll have C on that side. Okay, and just so that we talk about it now, if this is A, then on the opposite side there is another A. So every single thing I work out here I'm going to double, because this green side is going to be the same area as this red side. So there's going to be 2 B's and there's going to be 2 C's. Now that's not always the case in every single shape you work out, but it's always a good thing to try and spot if there's any doubles or any triples or anything that you can shortcut instead of working out every single face's area. So if we start writing down, I would like the area of A. So A is 10 centimeters, because I can see that it's from the bottom there, by 5 centimeters. To work out a rectangle, we're just going to do the length times by the width. So that's 50, and the units I'm going to be using centimeters squared. Okay, let's work out all of them. So the area of B is 10 along the bottom, that's the length, and 2 is the height, so 10 times 2, 20 centimeters squared. And then the area of C, what we got, 5 along, 2 up, 10 centimeters squared. Okay, so I can either double all of those now, or I can add them all up and double it at the end. As long as I end up doubling everything, because there are 2 of each side, by the end I'll be okay. So what I'm going to do now is just add it all up. So that's 80, and then I would times it by 2. Centimeters squared. Okay, so only at this point here have I got the entire area of the outside. If I just finish at this 80, then I've only got the area of what I can see. And again, if I've got my shape here, if I can see the green, the mixed one on this side here, I've forgotten completely about the bottom. Okay, and the other two sides that you can't see. Okay, the next thing that we need to look at. Okay, so the second part of the work we need to look at is how to draw in 3 dimensions. And you can either do this on isometric paper, I've just printed some off the internet, or you can just do it on plain paper. If you're asked to do a sketch in a test, you can just do it on plain paper, but if you're asked to actually draw it on isometric paper, then they'll give it to you, and I'll show you how to use both. Okay, so something that we're going to make sure we do that I didn't mention last video is take note of these bold lines that appear inside the shape. Now what they are elevation lines. They are showing where there is change in elevation. So here's the shape we were talking about previously, and this is the work we did previously. Okay, and this part, the plan, has got this line here, and now that means that there is a change in elevation from up top here down to these two here. So in the way around it is, it's there higher than this part, and that's the same with the front. So if I look at the front now, which is this angle, change it so it looks like that, then I've got that these blue and grey pieces are closer to the camera than the pink and orange pieces. Okay, you can see that if I turn it like this. That means it is different if I turn it the way around. So if the front was actually this part and the shape was this way around, then that would just be a solid 4 with no line across, because I've got just looking straight at a square 2 by 2. Whereas this way around we've got this way around we've got 2 squares at the bottom followed by 2 squares at the top. Okay, and you can see that from the side. So we're going to make a note of that and be really careful when we draw that. And we're going to draw this first one on isometric paper. Okay, so as you can see on isometric paper, we've got 3 different directions, up and down, diagonally this way, and then diagonally this way. Let me draw them on. So we've got this way is an angle, this way is like a dimension, and this way. Okay, so it could be that I'm thinking this way is my side view, this way is my front view, and this way is my plan view. So if I was standing here, I'd see the side, standing here, see the front, flying up here, I'd see the top. Okay, so when we look at the drawing that we're going to have, I'm going to move this out of eye, so I can't see what that looks like, but I've got the idea of what it should look like in my head. And I mainly start with the most interesting piece. Here, that's going to be the side. So if I think of my side coming in from here, then I'm going to see an L shape, and it's 2 up and it's 3 across. So I'm going to start from this corner here, being this corner here. I'm going to go 2 up, and then I'm going to go 3 across. Like that. That is that and that. Okay, it's 1 across at the top and it's 1 across there, so each is going to be a 1 square deep. So if I go across this way, I'm always staying on the lines. Okay, that is now the L shape from the idea that I'm standing here looking at it in 3 dimensions. Okay, if I think about the front, then it's 2 at the bottom, and those 2 are going to be there, and then it's 2 at the top, and those 2 are going to be here. Okay, so I'm going to fill that in now, keep it in this direction. Okay, I barely moved the ruler, keeping it along those straight lines. Okay, so I've got that now. Finishing it off, I can then check the plan, still staying on straight lines. Okay, now the plan said it should have been 2 at the top and then 4 down. So these 2 are at the top, and then there are 4 here. Now if I wanted to think about the volume of this shape, now that I've got it and I know exactly what it looks like, I can think about what cubes are inside. That's the most basic way to find volume. Volume being the space inside a shape. So if I now partition this into the cubes that it actually is, now I'm just going across the lines that make up the cubes. Okay, and then if I just start colouring them in, this is the first one. I won't colour it in actually. There we go. That's the first one. This is the second cube. I'm going over pieces so I don't accidentally count it more than once. That's the third piece. That's the fourth piece. We've got 5 on this corner. 6 is this whole one here. And then that is number 7. Now there's actually a last one there, number 8, which is behind number 5, which you can't see. Okay, so you've got to use your imagination that it's actually this solid shape again. And we can see almost all of them except this one down here, that one, from this angle. If I saw it from this angle, I'd see it there, but we'd lose other bits. Okay, so that's how you use isometric paper. Now the second one we're going to look at is the one from the textbook, which starts life like this. Now they've told you the plan, and they've told you the side, or the front. They've only told you one of those, so it doesn't really matter which one's which. Here we've got 2 lines of elevation, and from this diagram here I can see this part's going to be higher, and this part is as well, than this middle part here. Okay, so we've got the higher piece there, like that. Now we're going to draw this one on plain paper as a sketch. I tried it earlier, but it recorded no sound, so I'm trying it again now. It came out quite well last time, so let's have a look and see how we do it this time. Let's move it over here. Okay, so this is the third time of me trying to draw this. First time recorded no sound, second time I just messed it up. So I wouldn't worry if it takes you a while to get these 3-dimensional drawings going. It's just practice makes perfect, and try and keep everything as parallel as possible. Okay, so the first thing I would do again is the side view, because it's the most interesting, you get the most information from it. And here it's 5 across and 2 up in this sort of C shape. So I'm just going to choose an angle, this way around to help, choose an angle, I'm going to keep it 1 centimetre to 1 centimetre just to help me out. So the bottom line there is 5 centimetres long, and then it goes 2 up. So I'm going to keep my directions diagonally down, diagonally up, and straight up. So 2 centimetres at each of these ends. Okay, so that's the basic outline, and now it's all 1 centimetre deep. So I'm going to go 1 centimetre, keeping it parallel to this, so they should still join up. 1 there, 1 there. Okay, and then down 1, keeping it parallel to this. I keep lining it up with the original line that I've drawn, and then sliding it. I'm not changing any angles, I'm lining it up, moving it. Okay, and then the bottom part should be 3 centimetres there, and it is. So that 3 centimetres in there is going to be this 3 centimetres here, and that is the view there from the side. Now it looks a bit thin in the middle. This is just a sketch. I'm still using a ruler and a pencil, but it's just a sketch, and for now I'm saying that's good enough. Okay, now we're going to have a look at doing this corner here, this higher section, but we don't have the other view. We've got a side view, but we don't have the front view. Now the front is going to be very thin because it's 1 there, so it's 1 centimetre across, and it's going to be 2 centimetres tall. So I'm going to pick a different direction, diagonally up, 1 centimetre there, 1 centimetre at the top. I'm keeping everything parallel that I'm drawing here. Just slide the ruler and then join it up. So that should be 2 centimetres there and 1 centimetre there. And there we've got that tower section, and I'm going to repeat that for the other higher section here, which is going to be on the other side. So we'll have 1 centimetre, we'll keep it parallel to this so it looks the same. 1 centimetre there, 1 centimetre there, join it up, keeping it parallel to this, like that. And then we need the bottom bit here. Now it doesn't go all the way to the bottom because it's going to get caught up by that. So I'm just drawing that line there, which is down 1 centimetre. So we'll go down 1 centimetre and across 1 centimetre. Okay, if I then join this section over like that, keeping it parallel to that, so those two are parallel, that's me looking at these 2 lines here, and then there we have the 3-dimensional drawing. I've kept everything as parallel as I could. It's a bit scrappy around the corners, but as this was just a sketch on plain paper, that's good enough. Okay, now what we've got, if I wanted to work out the volume of the shape, I could split it into its cubes. Now I knew they were all 1 centimetre cubes, so I can just go across and across and down. I'm going to use a ruler for this bit so it doesn't look bad. There and there. So down and across, down and across, down and across. So I've split it into its cubes, and now I can just count the cubes. I don't have to do any more work than that at this point. So I've got 1 cube there, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6 is all of that one, 7 is all of this one. So altogether there are 7 centimetre cubes in that shape. I hope that was clear. Thank you for listening.